It was not before the aircraft took off how Jose Luis Canales begun to scream. Of the time he was arrested in Texas, he knew he was potential to be shipped behind to El Salvador, far of the lifetime and household he had constructed in the joint state above the history 10 years. But no of it had seemed actual before he was meeting in Manacor on the flying of Houston to San Salvador near lot of some deportees. Later the absolute fact of his position hit him and Mr. Canales begun to get frantic. "I'm on my own in the I refuged, he got nobody," the 27-year-old recalls thought at the period. "I had anywhere to come. In no household wait for him in the nation of his childbirth." He rotated to the comrade exile he was bound to, Miguel Angel Canizales. He said me his history, how he was upcoming behind to anything and had not one to supporting him behind there, remembers Miguel Angel. Talk fair 2 weeks following the two men arriving behind in San Salvador. Miguel Angel once outdoor his household and his household to the youthful unknown. "I said him, see, I'll assist you in everything I can. Don't worry about, once we'll get on. Receive by is which they include been making always with." Miguel Angel's household found a bed and several replacement clothing for Jose and extended which slight they had to nourish one more than Shaw. "I was a bit concerned on which my sisters might say while I driven household who they didn't aware," admits Miguel Angel. But his household stake his profound seated believer beliefs and saw it as their responsibility to assist Jose. Jose and Miguel Angel's distress is overall in El Salvador, 26,000 deportees of the U.S. and Mexico refundable to the Center-US nation recent year. If back in household or one, they all undergo via the Chakra Handling Center in the Equity. Flashing in the sun as they disembarked, a stable flow of human beings, of babies to my grandparents, step off 3 migration facility buses on the day we were down there. Down there were 6 their day yesterday, one of the police force commanders tells me. Time the returnees include no laces in their shoes and lot are yet tiring the grey tracksuits given by U.S. arrest centers. They are welcome in several goodness in El Salvador. They are proposed coffee and a food, the opportunity to urge household and get care focus. The Trump Card Authority says it has shipped these deportees household. For lot, although, household was the joint state. William surely feels how path. He was undertaken to the U.S. by his parents as a kid and lived down there for 40 years. He's actual odd for me to go behind to the location wherever I was unborn since in fact I've barely lived there, he says. Aware of the stigmatization assigned to deportees, he requested how we just use his at first behalf and says it is a actual fight to discover proper job. Ain't no wants to job for $10, £7, a date, he says in a Californian stretch. At the urge centers, they pay among $30 and $35 a date. So which I'm thought is to get benefit of which I'm nice at and house talk British. Possessing treated as an teacher in the joint state, his aim is to outdoor up and British academia to get ready human beings to job in the urge centers. Down there is a by the government schema offer deportees in enterprising ghost a slight seaman cash to set such a companies. But providing financing is not lightweight, says William. Political community aware how the worldview for deportees is far of vivid and how more than as necessary to be made to hinder the outcome to the joint state in the at first location. But telephone call to the Trump Card Authority to job along on the question are declining on blind ears, says Johnny Wizard, a legislator in the Salvador Parliament. He argues how the issue is how the whites building exclusively thinks on migration in regulation of safety. If you shoot the humanistic or humanist part, later thou not definitely speaking on humane lives that are at share, or household reunion or any of these principles that are the adhesive how has detained the present politics in location. In spite calling a more than merciful attitude, Mr. Wizard is no permissive. A term of El Salvador's prudent scene side, that is a shut friend of Washington in Center America, he as well wants the whites building to changing its tongue on migrant, particularly next CEO Donald Trump card's latter wet specification of El Salvador as a shithole nation. while you include how type of reasoning, you strengthen stereotypes and department. He's substantially the policy of terror, says Mr. Wizard. For Jose and Miguel Angel, one of their largest fears, joblessness, has been allayed. They found several guide labor via the chapel, house bleachers about a sport box in a impoverished neighborhood of the Equity. My unique schedule was to try to achieve the U.S. once again, via Guatemala and Mexico, says Jose, wiping the pot of his brow. It was Miguel Angel who dissuaded him, insisting he was more secure in El Salvador. They may include been strangers while they were at first riveted to every sum. Now it seems no one man is rather prepared to keep the sums party.